Hello and welcome to Decor and Design International Seminar Series. Today I have Victoria from Scarlet Opus in the UK. Welcome to Australia.
Thank you very much.
So today we're talking about trends looking at 2015 and beyond. We're bombarded with trends daily, but how the process of it is still a mystery. How do you actually go about sourcing these trends and finding them and developing them?
I think there is this idea that it's crystal ball gazing, and there is a veil of mystery around trend forecasting, but actually it's actually a little bit more boring than you'd imagine, because it's a huge amount of research and analysis and translation. We're effectively gathering information from all kinds of different sources, and we're researching what's going to happen, what's planned in over the next few years that will be on people's radars, that will change the mood in society, their wants, needs, desires, their fears even, and how will that affect the things that they want to surround themselves with. And of course we're looking at what's the current situation, what's the mood in society right now, what's happening, but our focus is on the future and thinking about what will be on their radars when we hit 2 years from now, 3 years from now. And that covers a whole different variety of areas that we're looking at. It's not as simple as just looking at what's in fashion and then translating it for interiors, so it's really, really broad. It's research, research, research.
And part of it is fashion too. There's a big crossover there with fashion into interior design now.
Intrinsically linked. And it used to be that fashion had a massive influence on interiors, but you know, it's both directions now. They influence each other, and you can see the influence of interior design, see the influence of architecture and furniture design that comes back across into fashion as well.
And a lot of designers, fashion designers, moving into the interiors world as well, like doing their own ranges and things like that too.
I've always believed if you're a designer and you have that creativity and that ability, then there are no boundaries and borders to that. You could design shoes even if your training is furniture and vice versa. You just want to apply your look and your way of thinking and your passion, your creativity to anything at all, and not be limited.
So today you explain the key factors that drive trends to emerge. Can you outline these?
Well, we're most certainly looking at things like architecture. What are the big projects slated to be completed over the next couple of years? Museum exhibitions and art gallery exhibitions. There's the fashion as well. The films that are going to be released in a couple of years' time, there will be links between them. There will be some kind of common denominator between some of those events and happenings. Centennials and exhibitions and celebrations on a major world scale. All of those things will build, and what we're trying to do as trend forecasters, it's a bit like making a jigsaw. We're looking to put pieces of information, pieces of the jigsaw together to build a picture of a trend. And the more information we can add, then the clearer and the bigger that picture of the trend gets, and then we've got more information to share with people. So it's really varied, really varied.
Yeah, it's a huge job.
It's not a case of saying, well, what kind of pink would be in the years? You know, it's really, really focused on a world view.
You also detailed the key design and the colour trends for 2015. What are your personal favourites for the year ahead?
There's a couple of different things that are happening that are quite extreme, so they're really juxtaposed, that I'm quite passionate about. So a big historical influence that comes through, kind of Dutch Golden Age, and I'm a bit of a drama queen. I love a bit of theatre. So the ornateness that we see coming back through, sumptuous colours and pattern. My background is surface pattern design and textiles, so anything that's really tactile and has got a lot of kind of hand-drawn qualities to it, then I'm going to love that. So the historical influences we see coming through, mixed with new qualities as well. That's exciting for me. But then also there's a trend that's much more about well-being, and I'm really interested in the well-being of people and in society, and then being able to provide spaces for people that are soothing and calming, that allow them space and time to contemplate, and that are a little bit easier to live with as well.
Yeah, because you mentioned that in the seminar today, which I found fascinating, is that we're always available and that we're always expected to reply straight away. So that sense of wanting a space to have on your own, and that's away from all of that.
Yeah, it's like a new form of sanctuary. You know, we do need to take time out and to download all of that information and to pause and reflect. And technology, obviously brilliant, but it doesn't allow us time for contemplation, and particularly, say, with millennials that are really embracing technology so much, they want instant replies to things, and you don't get time to think things through. And at the end of the day, I mean, I've got rid of my television at home so that I can just have one place where I'm not being bombarded with information in the world and choices and people selling me things. So that's interesting.
So interior designers, you know, they're very creative, they're always hunting down the next big thing. How can they stay ahead of the curve? What tips do you have that they could how they can source trends, or what's upcoming, what's coming next?
Trend forecasting is an investment, most certainly. So I think one of the things that you want to do if you want to get trend information, you don't want to pay a lot of money for that, is most certainly to be coming along to shows and get into seminars where people are speaking, and there are lots of amazing forecasters and real thought leaders that are giving seminars at exhibitions, so do that. But the most important thing is to find some really good blogs that you enjoy the way that they speak, and you think that they're covering the things that are really speaking to you, and follow them, sign up to them, make sure that you're getting all of their updates and their posting. So blogging is a huge thing, really. And I would say more than anything, that kind of sharing of photos from shows and reviews of shows and what was trending and what people are starting to feel is coming next, that's a great free way of being able to gather that information. But more than anything, if you know the trend forecasting process and you're thinking about the world and events, start to build that into your way of thinking. Whether you are a manufacturer, a retailer, a journalist, whatever it is, you can think about the world and what's happening in the world in a different way, and you can try to incorporate that into the work that you're doing.
Great. Thank you for your time.
Pleasure.